The first thing I want to touch on is just what you're doing online, the concept behind it, right? And why we suggest that you diversify what you're doing online. So consider this your marketing bridge, right? This is me. I like email. I like direct mail. I like this. It means that I get to choose when I interact with you. So for me, that's good because, like I said, I'm probably not going to be on Facebook all the time. However, if you're talking to both me and my mom, and all you do is email and direct mail, you missed my mom. She doesn't care about email. She's only on Pinterest, pretty much. So if you want to catch her, you're going to have to go out there. However, if you take your message and you spread it across multiple mediums, then you can talk to people the way that they want to be talked to, through their communication channel of choice. And the goal would be to drive them back to your website and blog, and then turn them into closed business. And there's different digital components that you can use, and we'll talk more about those. So here's another way to think of it. I like to encourage people to think of one centralized point out online in their marketing plan as their marketing zone, right? So I think that the website is a great marketing zone. Why do I think this? Because I have the most control over it. You don't have control over Facebook. You don't have control over Twitter. Any of the social medias, they change stuff. Ta-da! Look, we changed things. And you're like, but I was worked, that was my... Anyway, so that gets really frustrating. However, with your website, you do have control over it, right? So you use the other digital mediums to supplement that, to cast a net out and drag people back to your website, reminding them that you exist and that you're totally awesome, and then move them over into the closed business side of the equation. So who should not do online marketing? I think if you don't have a website, you're going to have a challenge with it. It doesn't mean that it can't be done. It means that it's challenging because you don't have that big platform for people to go land on and surf around and hang out in, right? You don't have that controlled platform. A person this morning was like, yeah, we just have a landing page. I'm like, that kind of stinks because they pay all this money in Google AdWords and all they do is drive people to this one spot. They just drove them into a dead end. You can't even get through the drive-thru. You just go and you hang out in the drive-thru. That's it. It'd be a little frustrating, and then you gotta like back out, and you're like, I'm not coming to this place again. All right, so if you don't have a plan, I feel like if you don't have a plan, your time is money. You're gonna invest time in this. I don't want you to waste your time. I would prefer that you have some type of plan wrapped up in it, something that you're thinking about, right? Also, if you don't want to track, this is the most trackable instance of marketing that you'll find. So if you don't want to track it, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Once again, you're just doing it, throwing money at the wall, seeing if it sticks, and whatever sticks, you're like, that's awesome. And it's challenging because I have clients that come in and will do their website reviews, and they're doing a lot of advertising out online, and I'll be like, so how's this working? And they'll say, well, I mean, how much money are you spending? And I'm like, oh, a couple $100, whatever. And look, it got all these people clicked on this, and they all went to my website. And I'm like, awesome. So are you looking at what they're doing on your website? No. I'm like, I'm looking at it, and they're leaving. So that means that if you spent $100 and you had a 98% bounce rate, which just means people come and leave from the exact same page, then only $2 of what you just spent was effective. That's not a very good return on your investment. And they don't track because they're afraid they're going to fail. But then they have me, and I yell at them, and they don't like me as much. I can be in the meeting, that's fine. Okay, and also if you're looking for a miracle. So if your business plan is not viable, it's just not viable. If the people who answer the phone are mean, I can't fix that. And neither can online marketing. So just be realistic about what you're asking to deliver here. Alrighty, so what you can expect is that your online marketing will take time to make an impact. It's not something that happens overnight. You'll see trackable statistics overnight, but that doesn't mean that your closed business is going to happen overnight. It does cost money, and it really irritates me when people say, well, you should get on Facebook because it's free. It's not free to be on Facebook. I mean, it doesn't cost you a membership fee, but every single one of you guys have an hourly rate. You get paid to do your jobs. So it's not free. It's not free. Okay, so erase that from your mind. No, you're not writing a check to Facebook every month. However, it's not free. It has a learning curve. And things will change all the time. It's a gigantic moving target. We know that because we live in it every day. Us little dorky techies over here are laughing. However, it's incredibly trackable. So we can modify it for better results, and we can see what's going on within our campaign. So you'll know when it's working and when it's not working, and you can celebrate those successes. The goal is to save you time and make you money in the long run. So it's not something that you're just going to enter into and have immediate gratification from, short of looking at the statistics. Which I get great gratification from, but not everybody is as excited about the statistics as I am. The thought is that you're going to transition from a sales funnel to a sales hourglass. So all of us who've ever done sales before understand what this thing is. You have to do X number of cold calls and make X number of appointments, have X number of proposals to have this many deals, and then, ta-da! That's how you're going to make your money, right? And the thought is that you want to take a shift. You want to go from hunting to farming, right? So you're going to take all these wonderful people that you've done great business with and that you've made so happy, and you're going to turn them into fans who tell their friends, who tell their friends, who tell their friends. And that's how you can build up your following. That's the thought behind social media, right? And the good thing about digital marketing and online marketing is that it gives you a really easy way to connect with these people that is not, it's not as expensive as direct mail. It doesn't take as much time as calling every single person individually, but it still allows you to reach out and touch them. So the next piece that I'd like to share is the phases of the buying cycle, right? So some of us we all have different products. And especially for you guys over at Breadbasket, or BBC too, it's different because you have a much lower barrier of entry. People are going to come in, they're going to eat, right? Now, for carpet cleaning, for a title company, for an art organization, this is different. This is a different process for you guys, right? So yours is not necessarily a huge barrier of entry, but it's more than where you're going to go for lunch today. So it's a different decision to make. A lot of traditional marketing focuses on people at the end of the buying cycle and tries to lure them in with deals, while online marketing, when done correctly, will gather people in at the beginning of their cycle while they're still identifying that they have a problem, that they have a need, that you can help fulfill that need, and then nurture them through the process, developing a relationship so that they come out on the other side loving you, right? So here's my duck representation of what I'm talking about. I thought these ducks were just so cute. I couldn't help it. They were really, really cute. Okay, so first is awareness. Sometimes people don't even know that they need it, right? So especially, I'm going to use carpet cleaning as an example because you're here, and I'm certain that there's probably a regularity with which you suggest people clean their carpets, not just when they move out of their house. I think that's probably, but people probably do. They're like, oh, I'm moving out, or I'm moving in, and that's all the more frequently that they clean their carpets. I'm not aware that I have a need to clean my carpets more often, or what I could benefit from if I did it more often. I don't know yet. However, when my kid spills juice on the floor, I might be ready to learn. Thank God we have solid surface flooring. So during this phase, our goal is to help people realize their need and understand that we can help fulfill that need for them. A lot of people, you'll start talking to them when they're in the consideration phase, which means that they're evaluating what their criteria is to make a decision. What is it? Is it that they want to go downtown and eat lunch and they have to have parking? Or is it that they have to be able to get in and sit down right away? Is it that they're gluten-free and they have to have a gluten-free option using the restaurant? So there's criteria with which you're making your decisions based on. And so they're learning. They're still researching. Then you get into the preference and intent. So this is where you have an inclination to one solution or another. This is where, when people get here, your radio advertising is great because you've been branding. They went out and researched, and then they're like, oh, I guess I probably should call Columbia Carpet Cleaning because, I heard the radio ad, right? And then after that, you finally get to the purchase portion of the pie. I'm going to sneeze. Okay. Woo! Okay. So the challenge that I see on most websites is that the only time that they're asking people to contact them is like in between phase 3 and 4. Because the only way that you have to get in touch with these people is by filling out an email form to talk to them. And in my opinion, that's like asking me to marry you on the first date. I just got here and you're asking me to marry you? I'm kind of creeped out. I'm not probably going to do that. I probably won't. So all this other stuff is like dating, right? And my husband did not ask me to marry him on the first date, and it was a good thing because we were kind of mean to each other for like the first 3 months, just like testing the waters, right? And I think that the way that the buying process is now, people are coming to you far later with lots of research underneath their belt to make this buying decision. Whereas the old buying process used to be that we've got this salesperson who has all this information, and you have to call the salesperson to get the information. So the challenge is if they're coming to you way later in the process, then where did they get that information from? Who did the nurturing with them? Who gave them this information? Was it you? Maybe not. And if it wasn't you, do you want it to be you? I say yes, I want it to be me. Okay, there we go then. And then the process starts over again, and this is where, you're nurturing your current clients, you're getting more referrals from them, you might be cross-selling another service to them, rescheduling. So Jeremy calls online marketing your online dating toolkit. And here are all the tools that you can use. Well, maybe not all of them, I'm certain that there's more. There's a whole bunch of them up here, right? That are part of your online dating toolkit. You don't have to use all of them.